Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to LOL Battle Arena Season 1. My name is Reed Rapid Melt, and I do want to welcome you to tonight's games. Tonight, kind of an interesting way to start things off, because we're actually going to have a team that I wouldn't have expected to be able to see in tournaments like this just yet. But it's Gamers2, and Gamers2 are a team that, they've played in the European Challenger scene for a long time, whole lot of different rosters, but an organization whose name you should know if you follow the European Challenger scene. But if you're from the CIS region, you follow the Russian Challenger scene, then you may be a little bit more familiar with the 9 Inch Nails, or Night Inside, NIN over there. At least that's what I remember them as. So NIN, a team that I've only gotten a chance to see play once, and that was during the opening stages of this tournament. They played against FMF Esports, which is a few of the old Roxkiss members. You guys watch a lot of Star Ladder, but either way, I was actually asking a couple of the Star Ladder casters, what's up with Night Inside? Are they any good? What do they play? And apparently, they're one of the best Russian Challenger teams out there that hasn't quite made it into Star Ladder. That's the sort of Russian LCS, if you want to think about it that way. And because this LoL Battle Arena does feature some of the best teams from Russia, Turkey, and the European Union, it's nice to see a little bit of international team competition that you don't get a chance to see too often, especially among Challenger scene teams. So it's actually really cool to get this underway. It's the group stage, and of course, if you want more information about this, you can head over to lba.gg. It's a good place to find out information about the teams, about the players' standings, whatever you want to find out over there. And so at least coming into tonight's games, this is the first game that Gamers2 has played in this league. And it's actually kind of surprising because the Challenger scene playoffs are actually coming up in like a week or something. So I wouldn't expect them to show too many like super advanced strategies. But as one of the at least highly skilled teams in this tournament, it shouldn't be something that stretches them too badly, but always some surprises there. Zach can fly. The Night Inside top laner, missing a little bit of a taunt there on Smitty J, who's running Smite, or not Smite, Ignite, Teleport, Fizz in the top lane. Smite Fizz used to be a thing, it's not anymore. At least I really hope it's not anymore. Ever since the Cinder Hulk changes, you don't really see those in side lanes, aside from things like Dr. Mundo. I think that's probably the only side laner you'd run that on, but yeah, aside from that, not too much to remark on early on. This is Kikis playing for Gamers2. I believe they had Maxlor in here earlier, but it is going to be Kikis. I think Maxlor is off finding his fortune in the world. Hybrid gets headbutted underneath the turret. Death Knight tries to Goomba stomp on top of him with a nice little jump, but misses that. Still some interesting action there in the jungle as Kikis finds Kreox. I guess vice versa. Kreox finds him. Kikis gets the smite on the Krugs, and then just ward jumps away there to escort him away. His personal driver, Perks. And Perks kind of an interesting animal. Started out the season, I was like, okay, well, Gamers2 are, a solid, second, third place team, but man, did they ever step things up, especially in the finals versus Dignitas EU. Really, really exciting, or not finals, but the final week of the EU Challenger Series. Really exciting to see Gamers2 come out as one of the better Challenger teams out there in the in Europe, and versus Night Inside, one of the better CIS Challenger teams. It's gonna be an interesting time to see exactly how that works out. Haven't really seen too much aggression other than Kikis doing some counter jungling, and he is playing Lee Sin, which is fairly surprising, given that Rek'Sai's banned. You still have other options out there, Nidalee, Evelynn, if you want to play aggressively. But for Lee Sin, it does really exemplify your mechanical prowess a lot, and maybe that's one of the things that Kikis is kind of banking on, going up against a team that maybe hasn't had quite the same amount of experience that Gamers2 has had. Already a lot of really good ward coverage on the top half of the map for Night Inside, and it's taking all of my concentration to call them Night Inside, not 9 Inch Nails. But I'm guessing that I'm not the only one having that problem. Either way, Creox, at least in the jungle, he's been doing a decent job. I think he only lost one camp to kick his counter jungling it. But Smitty J in the top lane, man, is starting to have some issues. And while, yes, Kikis was started, or scouted out on a ward, that's that early ward coverage I was talking about paying off. Zack&Fly is probably not too worried about things, given that Smitty J is down to like 300 HP. And wow, only 200 HP now. Zack&Fly might actually even look for a dive attempt here. Smitty J is just so low after not having the wave control that he needed to push that off that turret. But now mid lane, we got Perks in a little bit of trouble. I say a little bit of trouble, which means actually very little trouble. Creox unable to get anything really done up there. But man, look at Smitty J. He's like being harassed underneath turret. Whoa! Taunting him backwards. There's the chum the waters to come out. Zack&Fly takes that fizzle, but is really just delaying Smitty J as much as possible. Now he's actually gonna ult out from behind the turret, head his way back to the bottom lane. Maybe a little bit of a premature usage of that ultimate, but he knew Kikis was coming top lane and knew that it would have been actually pretty difficult to get away from that. So at least for the time being, not all that much really to talk about. The biggest thing to probably mention is going to be in the mid lane. There's actually about a 10 CS lead there for Perks, 10 CS lead for Jez's down in the bottom half of the map. Not sure why that Steel Tempest went sideways, but you get the idea. Just getting a smaller and smaller CS leads for bigger and bigger gold count leads there as well. You can see Perks pretty much in control of the mid lane. Oh my gosh, Death Knight just jumped through a tree. All right, I kind of got stuck in the wall there for a second. Anytime you use Tristana jump, it's coded a little bit more, a little bit differently than other jumps because it actually tracks you over the grounds. So if you jump over a Caitlyn trap, you're gonna pop the trap instead of actually being able to jump over it. It's a little bit weird, but I don't have to worry about that this game. Just have to worry about the bottom lane here, Death Knight and we're just gonna call him Lek because I was actually expecting to see a couple of different players for Night Inside here today, but they are running with you know, two of their, I don't want to call them subs, but two of their other players. Lek down there in the bottom lane, and I think it was Zack&Fly up in top. Another meeting in the jungle between Kikis and Creox. Creox gonna body slam and back away, but pretty sure Kikis won that trade. He's going to put in deep ward coverage, which should help scout out Creox as he tries to gank. And off this red buff spawn timer, Kikis knows what's up. And off his invade, Perks is going to be able to come around and try to help him out there on this red buff steal. Pushing Gragas around. He does have a nice ward there on the red buff itself, but they are vulnerable to getting collapsed on. Here comes the teleport. Zack&Fly on the bottom half of the map, and this is going to be a little bit of a difficult spot for Gamers2 to be in. They push out to the weak side, pushing Norman's back away, but I mean, Zack&Fly is still here. Taunt will miss, and the wind wall stops that True Shot barrage. But in the bottom lane, we got True Shot, we got the First Blood coming in. There's the ultimate, the last breath on Creox. Kikis coming back in as Perks might actually be able to turn this one around. Zack&Fly dodging away from the Shadow Dash. Beautifully well played. Zach still in a lot of problems. Perks gets that kill, goes back in there. Perks faces a last auto attack from an AP Ezreal that he probably won't care about too much. And still trying to chase out No Man's. He's going to be forced to flash away. Jez is getting the Valkyrie off there. And he actually Valkyries at the same time as he's facing a headbutt. But Perks is going to let Dragon kill him off, but then he's actually going to die in return. No, he's not. Kikis takes that dragon hit, and what a time to be alive. Gamers2, 10 minutes in. They're already up 4-1 in kills. A little bit of downtime after all that crazy action, but off of about 1,000 gold from creep score advantages and another 1,500 off of just that team fight, Gamers2 find themselves in a pretty devastating lead. Okay, well, Creox does smite away his Raptor camp there, so he should be okay. Hybrid He's just trying to get this ward to stick in the Raptor camp bush, so it'll be successful in that regard. This red buff's still up, untaken just yet. Might see a rotation down here from Kikis, and yeah, Kikis is in fact coming over. Knows that he's unscouted just yet, but I think, yeah, Alistar is going to try to take him out there. And red buff's in a decent spot. True Shot Barrage completely whiffs it there. Perks flashing out. Kikis in a low spot, and he's actually going to go down to Death Knight. Death Knight might actually jump in on this one, but yeah, Perks is actually pretty strong with a completed static shiv off of his 3-0 score. That can fly wants to go in. No Man's gonna get that knock up into the last breath. He's going down, but it's actually, whoa, Perks that gets taken out instead. Hybrid, the next to fall, a double kill for No Man's, and the Valkyrie over the wall. Jez is going to try to turn this one around. Smitty J, TP's in. He's going to find one kill. Will he find a second? Yep, there's a couple going down. A triple, though, for No Man's. Jez is trying to find one more auto attack for another one. He will be able to pick that one up. Probably dead here. Yeah, he will finally go down. The Runeglaive taking him out. But, man, that's 4 kills. For the Russian, AP Ezreal there. Really impressive play there by No Man's. Coming out with one team fight for 4 kills. He's down about 20-25 CS, but that's all completely made up for. And if you take a look at the gold count between both mid laners, it's actually now dead even after just that team fight. So really, really big switch around there from going from a 3-kill differential to just a 1-kill difference. And the kills are all on Knight Inside's carries. They got Tristana starting to scale up, AP Ezreal. We all know what a late game powerhouse he can be. And so it's actually really cool to see a little bit of a comeback here from the CIS Challenger team. Trying to take a look at the last breath, coming in again, but will that wind wall be enough? Yeah, Kick is going to get the kick there, putting the kick in Kick is. So I guess it's putting the kick in Creox there as he kicked him out, got the kill, and that's going to at least start things looking good for Gamers2 once again. Kikis will take out a ward, head over the wall to the dragon, and this will be the first dragon of the game, most likely going over to Gamers2. They don't have to worry about the jungle presence, they don't have to worry about top lane given the teleport's down, and I think, yeah, Shen ult's down there as well. So kind of the tides of battle turning here in Gamers2's favor as they take down the first dragon of the game, and probably want to look to pressure towards the bottom lane, but Kikis, see if he decides to head down there as well. Coming into the season of EU Challenger Series, I was actually kind of interested to watch Jez's alternate down to his AD carry role from being a mid laner from basically as long as I can remember. I was a little bit skeptical because towards the end of his mid lane career it was a little bit shaky, but since transitioning over to being an AD carry, he's exhibited decent AD carry mechanics. He's not like Valkyring in that's why they call it the NA equalizer, not the EU one. So he's not too many critiques for that, and it's actually a really good lane phase for him so far. He's up about 40-50 CS. That's a little bit ridiculous, especially for this only being 14 minutes in. And you can tell that together with Hybrid, new support coming in, he's actually really stepped up. I've been so impressed with Hybrid, interested to see rather, how he faces off against Death Knight. Death Knight, a challenger CIS AD carry who, at least by my research before going into this game, plays mostly Corki and Callista on Tristana, so that's actually going to be interesting to see, given that it's kind of outside his comfort zone, at least as far as his big OP AD carry picks are concerned. Oh, Smitty J a little bit low. Zach can fly right on top of him. He's got Creox coming in, but with a nice jump right over top of the fat man. Smitty J is going to flip his way back to base. That's actually a really impressive dodge to stay alive, trying to get the kill on a No Man's, but just pressuring him off the turret. There's the kick right into the last breath, and they're going to cut him down even with the stand united. Perks able to come in together with Kikis. They take out the CIS mid laner. Really impressive dive there. Gamers2 grabbing themselves their 9th kill of the game, and while they will take down their first turret, they're going to lose one in the top lane as well. Zach can fly off of his failed teleport to the mid lane with stand united, just because No Man's died too quickly. Is still going to be able to take that turret down. Teleport now actually to the mid lane. He's actually just going to go in there and clear the wave on the turret. so no aggressive pressure there. And of course the dual lane recalling with all that pressure in the mid, so probably wise to just take a trip out of there. But man, Kikis has been on top of these deep wards, double deep warding the enemy jungle consistently along with Hybrid. That's actually pretty impressive to see Gamers2 on top of their deep ward control. Pressure on the mid lane, exactly perfect. And really Kikis kind of the catalyst for a lot of this early game aggression. Hasn't been involved in a few of the solo kills there, but has been at least helping out not only with the vision game, but also with some of the aggressive options. Now, Lecky's coming down to the bottom half of the map. Headbutt pulverize on, or pulverize headbutt there onto Hybrid. Knocks him back under turret. There's the taunt underneath it, and Death Knight's clocking in with his third kill of the game. Tristana actually starting to look ridiculous. Infinity Edge, Avarice Blade completed for a lot of crit. And that's actually working out pretty well. The late game Tristana, you cannot forget what damage that does. Maybe some nerfs coming in that make Tristana a little bit less picked than she used to be, but it's still a late game powerhouse and something that will outscale Corki if he gets far enough ahead. That being said, Jesus is actually on a pretty decent power spike of his own with that Trinity Force completed. Whoa! Kikis trying to fake out like just a little bit, but won't be able to be successful at that. Now looking for a possible dive here. Gamers2 are setting up for it. This would be a 3v3. Probably better just put damage down on the turret and back away. Use that Corki poke. With the rest of Night Inside incoming, yeah, Gamers2 just gonna back away. And especially look at the lane rotations that we're starting to see for Gamers2. Perk's now swapped up to the top half of the map, so that he can become this sort of split pushing force now that his Blade of the Ruined King is completed. There's really not too much that can lane against that guy right now. The deep wards will scout out Creox taking this red buff, so at least that should be a timer, and even Kikis might be looking for a steal here. Creox has this red buff warded out. Kikis, will he get the smite? No, he actually whiffed his Q there. And then with a brief overextension, just walks away. I would say tail between his legs, but he's playing Lee Sin, so there's no tails involved there. Off the rotation top, Perks should be able to do pretty well here against Zach Can Fly. Mostly just because not only can he, Windwall daggers come into his face, but he's got Blade of the Ruined King, which is really good against early health stacking, which you can see from the Sunfire, Spectre's Cowl. Probably not something you want to face off against a Bork with. And Perks now 4-1-3 with, wow, a 50 CS lead over No Man. That's actually ridiculous. I haven't seen a CS lead that long in quite a while, until you look down to the bottom half of the map and you're like, wow, that's a 40 CS lead. And just good lane phase, strong mechanics there by Gamers2, get them team fight wins, lane CS wins, and also able to take down both outer turrets, or all three outer turrets. Yeah, both is 3, TIL. All 3 outer turrets down for Gamers2, and it's only 20 minutes in, so still some signs of life from Night Inside, given that they have been able to fight team fights very effectively. Unfortunately, it's not quite been enough to get themselves a solid enough advantage to contest these global objectives, as they now lose their second dragon of the game. In the meantime, trying to take this blue buff. Holy hell, No Man stole the blue buff over the wall with a Q. Unlucky there, Smitty J. Getting robbed of that blue buff. And I think even Perks was there to try to take it as well. But now Runeglaive Ezreal is starting to stack things up. A little bit down in CS, but with that 420 score, he's actually doing pretty decently for himself. And even though Runeglaive doesn't proc Luden's Echo anymore, it's still a good item to buy on AP Ezreal, because AP Ezreal doesn't need or isn't affected by that nerf, because Mystic Shot is actually an on-hit projectile, so it still applies Luden's by itself. Okay, just kidding about the Luden's Echo. It's actually just a Rabadon's Death Cap buy. Really big power spike. Gives you about 200 AP at this point, and Nomad's sitting on 343. Actually pretty ridiculous when you think about that. He's by far the strongest member of his team, and will have to continue to be that way. I'm not sure what Zach Can Fly is about to do. He actually misses his dash in. But we'll still be able to keep this second tier top lane turret alive. One of the big assets that Shen has, because Shadow Dash is a taunt on low cooldown, really prevents melee range champions from being able to punish his turrets too much. You just taunt them under turret, they take turret shots, he doesn't, and you know it's a pretty good way to fight your duels. So unable to really get too much done in the top lane or bottom lane. Gamers2 find themselves in a little bit of a stagnant position. However, that might just be heating up a little bit as Creox finds Kickiss. There's the kick on the Death Knight, but he's actually rocket jumping away at the same time. Lek in the mid lane, though, getting a nice pulverized combo that will chunk Perks down pretty low. Creox pretty low there as well. And he's just trying to get away from Kickiss and Perks, who are now mercilessly hunting him down. Chilling, Smite, flash away, and Creox will get out of there alive. All 4 Targon's procs used there by Lek, helping Death Knight actually pull out to a, I don't want to say a gold lead because he is down so much in CS. I think he's down, what is that? Yeah, about 50 CS there in the bottom lane, but all that to be said, he's actually not that far behind in gold. He's about down by like 400 gold versus Jez's, which is actually pretty impressive considering that, there is that huge CS lead, and it's mostly just off of those kills that Death Knight's been able to get for himself. So the carries, even though they are down heavily in CS, actually not all that much farther behind in gold. Okay, I take that back. There's about a 2,000 gold difference in the mid lane for Perks over Nomads, but primarily just because Perks has been split pushing, so he has kind of an artificially inflated creep score from being farming in that side lane for so long. Perks looking for the engage there. Lek's gonna be forced to ult himself. He's taking actually a lot of damage and will probably go down. Yeah, even through that unbreakable will. Turns out it's pretty breakable. And he's gonna go down for the 10th kill of the game for Gamers2. Now with that 1 kill on the support, is that enough for Gamers2 to pressure Baron? I don't know about that. They don't have like a Sivir counter engage comp, and they don't have whose ult did they use there? Actually, no, yeah, they do have all ultimates available. Gamers2 pressuring Baron down to half HP. I don't think they want to finish this one, but at the same time, they may have difficulty getting this engage off. Smitty J teleports in. Zach Can Fly in a rough situation. Taunt out, flash out there as well. Kick flash from Kickiss. And he's going to start the fight off in a big way. 1 kill after another. Double there for Smitty J. Dives into Nomads, but gets taken out immediately. However, with a nice dredge line, that's going to be a killing spree and an almost ace for Gamers2, as only Lek is left alive after respawning for that fight. Gamers2 a great lane phase, and while we can only hope for a triple Trinity Force build, we are going to see 3 Blades of the Ruined King instead. So if there are tanks out there, oh wait, this is a triple tank comp with Alistar, Gragas, and Shen. 3 Blade of the Ruined Kings is probably a pretty decent way to deal with that. So excited to see maybe a little bit of counter building there by Gamers2, and it looks like it will probably work out pretty well with now 1, 2, all 3 Blades of the Ruined King completed here at the 25-minute mark. I always wondered when you buy this many Blade of the Ruined Kings, if it's actually Blades of the Ruined King, like there's this one king that has many blades, or if it's Blade of the Ruined Kings, and there are many kings that each have their own blade. It's one of the grammatically existential quandaries that we face when talking about League of Legends. Unclarified, but I'm pretty sure it's actually just one king with many blades. So that's what I'm going to be going with. Haven't really caught up on the item lore. Still working on champion lore. Top lane, though, Perks, looking on his split push game here, won't be able to really... Oh, my... Okay, I take it back. I take it back, Perks. He's soloing out that turret like a boss, and he will be able to take it down. Back towards the rest of it, even without a minion wave. And Smitty J's down on the bottom half of the map doing the exact same thing. Hook there, dredge line on as that can fly. Almost takes him out. Actually, really surprised that he still lived there. Does survive, and Death Knight backing away there. Kickus trying to take him down. Gets the kick over the wall, but he's still alive. That can fly will die there to Jesse. But a last breath there onto the backline, kills off Death Knight. No Man still kiting like a monster, but man, Jess is just taking names. Finds himself yet another kill there, and now Creox, Lucky, they're both in a rough spot. Body slam back out, Kick is there for the follow. Lucky's still very, very low. Rockets going out, the dredge line lands. And a hybrid hitting hooks all day long. It's a good thing Fizz is on his team. Otherwise, those hooks would be a little bit more devastating. Because, you know, fishes don't have such a good track record against hooks. If you're ever looking to win a game versus like a Nami Fizz comp, you just pick like Thresh Nautilus, and then you just hook them over and over again. Fish. Makes sense. And the first inhibitor of the game going down at the 27-minute mark. Gamers2 with a huge lead now, all second-tier turrets left alive. Catch there on the Zack-Can-Fly does get that taunt off on Jesse, so you know, Jesse may be in a little bit of a rough spot, dodging that True Shot barrage. He keeps himself alive, and Tristana not quite so lucky, as Smitty J is going to cash in for another kill on the Nin AD carry. Knight inside, probably need to turn on some lights inside so that they can see where they're going. But now Creox, yeah, you're not going to be able to grab that dragon. He was thinking about it for a second, but discretion, the better part of valor there for Creox. And Lucky with a disconnect here. Probably want to see a pause. This is the tournament realm, so we can, in fact, pause. But apparently it's just a surrender boat coming in. And that's going to be a 28-minute victory for Gamers2 over Knight inside. So congratulations to Gamers2. They'll take down game number 1 in this best